What's up, you guys? It's Safira, and welcome back to part two of my horse life starter guide. So, in the last part, we covered learning how to tame your horses, as well as unlocking the first part of the journal for horses itself, and unlocking the shop. So, in this part, we're gonna be doing the ponies portion. So this one's actually really easy. So the first thing you want to do is you want to tame 5 horses. So if you haven't already, go ahead and make sure that you have a bunch of lassos, or even better yet, just some forageables, because you do for this one want to harvest these 10 times. Um, Between the last video now, I managed to get a couple of them already knocked off, but I'm still kind of go through this with you guys. That way, you know, you can follow along in the video. So the first thing I recommend doing actually is to just go through and get the forageables, just because you can do it as a food tame. It doesn't necessarily have to be a lasso tame in order to get your horses and stuff. And the cool thing about that is it actually will save you money and stuff by doing that. And so basically just recommend I go my recommendations are to go get your forageables and then do your tames, and then just use whatever forageables you have first for your tames. So right now that's 3 forageables. Well, this is the third one. The apple ones are going to be the quickest to get, and remember, if you want a horse or anything like that that's very strong in its strength and whatnot, you're going to want to go over to the stalls over there and buy a horse that has the imported trait buff, because that gives you 50% experience and 50% strength in general, which means not only do you level up faster, but they're a lot stronger. And if you manage to get one that also has the strength mutation, like the strong tendons, then it's only going to boost your strength and stuff like that even further. With that, if you manage to get one in the stalls that also has the buff. Otherwise, if you get one in the wild that has strong tendons or anything like that, then it's about the same. And then I think that's about 8, 9ish. Honestly, if you just stick to like town and stuff, a lot of these forageables are like really close by, so you can knock them out really quickly with your horses. Alright, I'm gonna do a couple more, and then we're gonna go ahead and work on our tames. So we're just gonna want to go find the apple barrels, because those are gonna have the least amount of health, even if they do have the least amount of experience that they give you. Just because we're not looking to... What is up with this controller? I am on the screen though, right? It's even more buggy than it was earlier. That's odd. Granted, I did come home from work and my cat had knocked the controller onto the floor. So, I'm just hoping that it's potentially the core that's having a lot of the issues. My drift and stuff is actually better than last video. I guess when it landed and it was on its side long enough that it corrected itself, so I'm not gonna have to take it apart to fix it later. Alright, well that should be about 10, so we're gonna go ahead and find a couple horses to tame. Alright, so remember, when you do your food teams, you want to equip the food first and then go into a crouch position and then slowly approach the horse. If it starts to give exclamation marks, don't keep following it. Wait till it's at a safe enough distance and double check that you're crouching and then approach again. Because if you just keep following it while it's got the exclamation marks, if you don't allow it to get a safe distance from you, then it's just going to keep running and you're going to be chasing it all over the map. And in all honesty, that's just a pain. Alright, so that's 2 down. You just need 3 more to go. So like right here, I kind of approached it. I wasn't crouching. But since I'm not like stopping, it's just going to keep running. And sometimes they'll turn back around when they get far enough. It's just to like, oh, hey, let's just check and make sure we're safe kind of thing. But if you run into one that has nimble hooves as well, that one is a pain and stuff to chase. So like you want to avoid putting yourself in those positions where it's like the horse just is not gonna keep going. Alright, so that's 4. You only need 1 more, and then that one is done as well. And then we'll go ahead and do I believe it's the last one actually, which is just jumping over 10 obstacles. And I'll show you the different obstacles and things like that they have throughout the map. Just to give you a little bit of the guide on those as well. And then I do believe that is the only one. Yeah, so that is the only one that is left. Where is my horse? She must have gotten stuck. They do that quite a bit, is they'll get stuck behind objects. So, I believe there's like 4 or 5 different things you can jump over on the map. So there's these logs, these ones give 5 experience, and then there's these over here. So you have the red ones. Those give 10 experience. You have the blue ones that give 15. And then, let's see, what side is it on? Over here. And then if you come over here onto this side, there's like these little stone walls. I believe these ones over here give 20 experience, and then there's another one on the other side of the map. I don't know exactly how many like are throughout the map. I think it might just be in like the one little section. I believe those ones give 25 experience. Yeah, so these ones give 20. So the other ones give 25, and I'll go ahead and show you because once we're over there, I'll just finish up the jumps and things like that as well. And then while we're over there, because we're finishing up the jumps, that's also right over near the pony spawn area. And so like the horse spawn, so like horses and stuff, they spawn all throughout like this lower portion of the map. And so that's really nice because like the beaches and things like that, up on these hills they spawn too. There isn't really a spot where they don't spawn. There is a Perryton update and stuff like that that's going to be coming out. Well, actually it should already be out by the time this video is. I don't know if they'll spawn up there. I don't think they will. Just because the Perrytons are supposed to be like winged horses and it's a floating island, so I really don't think they'll spawn up there. But if they do, that'll be pretty cool. And you'll have to have a winged horse anyways to get up there. But yeah, no, this is probably the most time-consuming part of the game right now, just because, you know, as a new player and stuff like that, you don't necessarily have all the stamina and stuff built up on your horses. My horses on my main account are like level 12 or something like that on like their main stamina. Or I've got a deity horse. That one has plus 100% stamina, and so that's kind of useful. Yeah, so these are the big ones. These ones give 20, 25 experience. I think it depends on what exactly you're jumping over. And with that, that completes our pony entry. So go ahead and claim those. You'll get 300 coins total plus a pony. And then these ones, they're a little bit smaller than regular horses. Their manes can be a little bit like almost multicolored looking at times, depending on like what traits and stuff like that that they have. This area right here on this hill that we're on, so this is actually a really big pony spawn. Um, Pretty much this whole side of like the mountain and stuff, this whole area basically is gonna be a pony spawn. So like you can find them pretty much all spread out. Like down there, they'll fall underneath, like they'll run down there. You can find them down here at like the foot of the mountains as well. So like there's this one right here. Is that a roan mask? I think that's a roan mask is what that music trade and stuff on it is. Um, if you follow this path like all the way up, like once you like, so like after like you have like this little plateau area, once you start to go up that hill right up there, that's actually gonna take you over to horses and caprines, which are gonna be like the goats. And then you also have more ponies and stuff that spawn over here. But that pretty much covers ponies. I think there was one other thing I wanted to cover, which was the equipment shop. So let's go ahead and run all the way back down towards town. Actually, you know what? Forget that. I'm just gonna reset real quick. Since you don't actually die in this game, it just puts you right back at spawn. What is this doing? Okay, that's just not gonna work. I'll have to deal with that later. Or, oh, never mind. So this is actually a common glitch and stuff that's been showing up. A movement glitch. I believe that there was one on mobile that was going around, but I believe that already got patched. And so I don't know if it's been reported and stuff for computer, whether or not they have it. After a while, it does seem to go away, but we don't have time for that right now. So we're just gonna exit it. I'll go back to my server and rejoin that real quick. And that should just fix the problem. I've had this happen in the middle of boss fights but it wasn't just me, it was like a whole like group of people, like we all just kind of froze. And I don't know, it's a really weird glitch. And then, so for the equipment, so what you want to do to unlock the equipment shop is you want to level up your horse's skills 20 times. So right now I've leveled her up 4 times. Well, this one's been 3, and then Sora was once. And so for leveling up your abilities, so these are actually really simple. So agility, so that is going to contribute to your stamina. So how long you can run around. As you're running around, you'll see these little arrows pop up that says +5 experience. That is going towards your agility trait. So literally all you have to do to raise that stat is just ride your horse constantly. However, if you have multiple horses equipped, the only one that actually will level up in that stat is the one that you are currently riding. The other ones will not get that stat boost at all. So like right there, I just leveled up to level 2. And then for the next stat, that is going to be our strength. So again, strength is just with forageables. So let's just go ahead and forage it for a bit, just so we can see that level up at least once. That, and because the food and stuff is going to be really useful for the next thing I'm going to be showing you for the fertility leveling. If your horse does get like stuck behind a tree, all you really have to do is just kind of go ahead and click on ride and then just kind of maneuver it out of the way of the object. A lot of times, like when you're not riding it and you tell us like, oh hey, go harvest that, the first thing it's gonna do is it's gonna put it into a race sprint or a gallop. And so when you go to ride your horse to move it out of the way, it's going to automatically be in that race sprint. And so you're going to want to like try and slow it down and stuff if you're going to have a hard time maneuvering out of the spot, because otherwise the second you get it turned, your horse is just going to take off running. How close am I? What about okay. But yeah, no, if you're trying to level up your experience, unless you have like a bunch of horses and one of them is like a beginner one, I would avoid the apple barrels, just because otherwise the apple barrels are going to be one of the longest things to like level up with. They're going to be the most time consuming because they have the least amount of health and they give the least amount of HP, and it takes about the same amount of time as like the other stuff just to respawn. Anytime you get like a little burst of like the food items like that, it's basically guaranteed that you're just gonna be getting 5 of the same item. If you only get one, it's typically between like 2 and 3 items. There are occasions where you can get like, there are like accessories and things like that that you can get from forageables, which in that case you'll only get one instead. But anything that's over like 3, it'll automatically just kind of give that little celebratory explosion. Yeah, the nice thing about having the imported really is just how much faster it is going to be to actually level up and things like that as well. But the main thing you want to pay attention to when you're leveling up these horses is that you're looking at the actual traits, so you can see what they're going to level up in the fastest. So like if you have a mission or anything like that where you need to level up, you're going to be seeing like anything that says plus experience, that is the stat that you're going to want to train. So like this one says plus strength, so that is the strength stat that I want. Iris. Oh, Iris is an alpha, so this one has plus fertility experience and minus gestation time. So that one will be good for this next one that we're going to be doing. However, she is still a baby, so we can't quite use her for that just yet. And then Mustang is your other wild one. This one is just minus gestation time. So that one's really not going to do much for us. And then you also have your reared traits and your purebred traits. Those are also going to affect like what kind of stats and things like that you're going to want to train as well. So those are just some of the things you want to pay attention for, that like you're like, okay, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm training. The boss fights and stuff like that, I'll go over those later. There's 2 different traits and things like that that you can get from the horses in there. There is currently Spirit and Deity, with Deity being the rarer one. And then another thing you want to know, so for every, other than the imported stat, every single, so like there's Mustang, there's Reared, and then there's Spirit, every single one of these has basically like a stronger, rarer version of that trait. So for Mustang, it's the alpha trait. For Reared, it's the purebred, and Spirit, it is the deity one. And honestly, I haven't seen too many people with the deity stat. It is really hard right now to get the spirit horses in general, just because in general getting those horses are fairly rare. And so getting the deity one, it's almost like unheard of. Like, I don't think I've played in a single server with people where I've actually heard of somebody else getting one. Alright, let's have 6. Alright, jump stat. Jump stat is going to be another really easy one to do. So, what you're going to want to do is, so out this way, they have they have this little area right here. They'll have like logs and stuff in a circle. These are going to be the best way to just continuously level up. Just keep your horse in like a trot, or like in between a trot and a canter. A canter will slow down your stamina, but you can always switch down to trot pretty easily, and that will actually just give you like a nice flow for it. It does say like awesome, great, and things like that, and like perfect and things like that, based off of like how well your jump is according to the computer. However, that doesn't really change anything for how much of a stat boost or anything like that that you're getting. I wish it did a little bit, but all in all, it doesn't really matter. It's basically just there to tell you, it's like, hey, you made the jump. But you'll also see it if you get the experience thing on the side. If you have a horse with flying wings, your jump on them at full speed is going to be actually quite fast. And then, so with that, what you can actually do is you can actually jump 2 of these logs, sometimes 3 at a time if you're reaching the high enough speed. But all this is going to do is it's going to increase your jump height. So honestly, with the winged horses, it's not necessarily something you're going to want to worry about too much. Alright, I'm going to take a short break real quick just because I do have to let my cat out of the room. Sorry about that. I had a couple cats that were fighting earlier, so I had to keep them separated for a bit, so. But we had another cat in the room that's just kind of old, so when she needs the bathroom, we kind of just gotta make sure she's got access and stuff to it when she needs it. But let's go ahead and take a look at that jump stat real quick. Alright, so at this point, pretty much completely filled up an entire bar plus some. So let's go ahead and keep going for a little bit. And then this can be pretty time consuming at times. There is a stone one somewhere. I forget where that one is. But let's go see if we can try to find it, because I don't think it's too far off. I think it's just like right on like the other side of the ponds. Or no, it's right over here. I thought it was farther away. But a lot of times you'll see players like in the public servers just jumping those posts and things like that over by the town, and that can be really great. Like it's really convenient because it's right by town. But in all honesty, going that many times like straight and then just turning around just to do it all over again can be kind of annoying. If you have like the ponies and things like that, you definitely do want to start with like the smaller logs. But if you have just like a regular horse and stuff like that, you can start with like some like the medium sized to larger ones in general without having to worry about whether or not the horse can make it. But like some of those lower, like the shorter horses do have a little bit of trouble if their jump stat isn't high enough at the first. Alright, so just about at level 4 now. Gonna be honest, I didn't even see the notification saying that we had leveled up. But, you know, sometimes it is kind of hard, kind of easy to, like, miss it just because, like, they do just kind of pop and go so quickly. Alright, and then with that, let's see how far that brings us up. Alright, with that, that puts us at about halfway there for what we actually need. Now moving on to our fertility stat. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to come up here and you're gonna want to press breed, and you're gonna want to select an eligible horse, both male and female. However, we do not have any male horses at the moment, so we're gonna go and we are going to try and find one. It is pretty unusual to have like all of the horses at this point, like all be the same gender that we just managed to keep. But you know, it wouldn't be the strangest thing I've seen on this game, if we're being honest. I caught a horse the other day on my main account that had both dwarfism as well as giganticism, and it was a normal sized horse, so yeah, it was literally just a normal sized horse no matter what. Alright, let's see if we can catch one more male. There is really no way to tell which ones are male or female just looking at them in the wild, but you can kind of hope. This one is actually a draft size horse, so these ones are the biggest size that you can actually get in the game. If you get one with giganticism, then they're even bigger. Apparently, I clicked a forageable at some point, and so that's where that one's going to run off to. She's going to try and find something to forage, but alright, so that's 2 males, and then we did catch another female, so let's go see if we can try to find another adult male real quick, just so we can speed this process up ever so slightly. Okay, no, that's another female. If you do get it wrong too many times, it will spook the horse and they will run away. Alright, and that's another male. Alright, so because we did get a giant and a giraffe size horse, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna breed the two of those together just because giraffe size and giants are going to be the two biggest sizes in the game, and those all do sell a lot better than anything else. So we'll go ahead and breed the two of them together. And then with that, you have these gestation times. Both the male and the female get it. The male is it's a lot lower of one, and you're not really able to see it unless you're in this page as well for the male. I wish it showed on the actual breeding on like the main stat page like what the actual cooldown was, other than just like it'll show it like right here, but it won't right there. I wish it did right there because the on the females it shows with child and claim child. But once you have that, this is going to be your other use for your food. So you're going to want to start off with some of like your rare foods. So like this one, your gestation time, it skips 20 minutes. And you're just going to want to go ahead and feed that. And then the pink princess apples, these are my favorite to get out of the apple barrels because they're 25 minutes each. And that brings me down to 15 or 13 minutes. We'll go ahead and feed her a 15-minute one. And then this one is 20 minutes. So a couple of those will finish it right up. And you just gonna want to come back over to this menu, click on the female, click claim child, and then this will give you another horse. So in this case, we got another draft size, so we'll go ahead and keep that because the draft sizes are very much something that you want to have. And then like this, so this is the reared one. So for the reared stash, you get 15% stamina. If you get a purebred one, then it's plus the stamina plus stamina experience as well. And it looks like most of our males actually are fairly good sizes. So, male, big, giraffe, normal, giant. Yeah, so most of them are pretty good sizes. Since this one's an alpha, he gets more fertility experience, so he's at 113 out of 125 already, which is really, really good. Actually, this one? Any of the females? No. It was just Iris, but Iris is the baby. That's what I thought. Go ahead and breed those two together again. And while we're still on this menu, we're just going to go ahead and breed the rest of these as well. And this will just make it really quick to finish all of this up. But yeah, no, a lot of your food and things like that that you earn in this game is going to go directly into your food system. You can also go to shop and click on food. My favorite thing is just to buy a bunch of the basic feed. They cost less than the woven lassos and stuff like that. So if you're going and you're using the woven lassos to buy horses and sell them each time, then overall it'll actually be really good for your times and things like that. It's got a minute. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Alright. That one's got a minute timer. I really like the color of that one. This one has a bunch of different traits as well. So the more traits you have, the better. That means that they're going to be better for breeding for like your cosmetic competitions, which I'll go over another day. But yeah, that's pretty much all it is to it for upgrading those stats. So that's a 1, level 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0 as well, or 1 as well. Okay, this is, where's my draft? That's a normal. I don't really care about that one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and sell it. If you do have a bunch of these baby ones, you can just go ahead and sell them. Another thing you can do is you can go ahead and equip them to grow, and then while they're equipped, um, once they're full grown, they'll actually be worth a lot more because having the age itself is another thing that is like kind of factors into how much it's worth. So for a full grown one, that adds on another $50 to your overall price. And then for each trait that you have, it adds on another little bit. And then for every level that you have, your levels on your horses are going to add on to it significantly as well. So jump level 4 right now, it's only like plus 20. But as you get higher and higher up in the level, that is going to contribute quite a bit to how much that horse is going to be worth. So let's go ahead, we'll repeat that process again. And doing this multiple times in a row, like all at once, is honestly one of the easiest ways to just get a lot of this stuff kind of just knocked out real quick. And then what I like to do while I'm doing this is I will actually have the baby horses equipped, and the baby horses are what I will actually use to go and do my foraging. That way, if it is something I'm going to sell or breed, then later on and not need it, once I do decide to sell it, then it's going to be worth a lot more money right off the back, even if it's just like a little bit. I just get every little coin's worth, basically, of the horse. Alright, so now all of the horses are pretty much at level 1 or level 2 with the fertility, which makes that a lot more simpler to do. The next thing that you can do, so after fertility, is the jump one. I already went kind of over that. I'm gonna unequip Miracle for a second, and I'm just gonna go through all of these horses that have level 0s, and because those are gonna be the easiest to go ahead and level up. And so I'm just coming right up here back to the little jump zone and just staying in like a trot canter kind of thing. And this one will level it up fairly quickly. I think I'll go ahead and just do a level 2 on here real quick. Alright, so that's the next horse with that. Alright, so we'll go ahead, we'll equip Sora now, and we're just gonna repeat this process over and over until we have all of them at least at level 1 for the jumping, minus, the babies. And then once you've completed enough of the levels, it'll automatically tell you that, like, hey, you've unlocked the equipment shop. And then you'll just kind of come back into town, and this will give you all of your accessories. This, you have your color dye. If you have accessories you want to change the color on, you'll need at least one of these in your thing at all times in order to be able to do it. Once it's used, it does disappear from your inventory. And then, but yeah, so that's pretty much this. The equipment shop is literally just accessories. They don't really do anything special. It does say a required species on some of them, so on some of these only the horse can use them, or certain species as well. This is going to be important for later on, because there are certain missions and things like that for certain species that you do actually need it for as well. But that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!